Good evening, everyone. What's up, gang? We're just going to give it a minute. Let some people fall in. See what happens in the next couple minutes. I hope everyone is doing really well. I hit the wrong button. Okay. Give me just 1 second, guys. I am getting my stuff all set up here. There we go. There we go. How's everybody doing tonight? You're listening to RP78. I am the corruption detector, and this is your Red Pill News. I am having a fabulous night. I hope you guys are too. Outlaw Hillbilly, thank you very much. Do appreciate that. All right, so what's going on today, guys? Today's been a good news day. We had lots of new stuff happening, lots of updates, lots of interesting things taking place, such as my live stream this morning with the apparent death or not death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So what's happened since then? Well, let's take a look. Switch to my desktop here, and there you guys are. Now you can see each other. That's great. Thank you so much. Roger Sloan, thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate the super chat. I really do. It means a lot to me. First of all, here we've got a tweet from POTUS Press. Now, I just want to show everyone POTUS Press. If you don't know about POTUS Press, this is direct sourced news from the POTUS and from people in the administration, okay? So anytime they post news, it's coming directly from the White House. All right, now this tweet here says the Great Awakening, breaking the chains of the Democratic Party. Now this is a walk away video for MLK Day. I'm not going to play it because this is not the same thing to me as playing like a clip from a news channel. People use the news all the time because it's the news and you're supposed to do that. But if you want to check out this video from Walkaway, I highly suggest you go there and you check them out because Walkaway is a great movement. If you don't know about Walkaway, it's a group of disenfranchised former Democrats that have decided to get out of the Democratic Party. But I just have to point it out. It says the Great Awakening right here on the POTUS Press page. The Great Awakening. Now, if everyone could be so kind as to make sure that you do like, share, and subscribe, make sure you hit that notification button so that you are getting the notifications when they go out. If you haven't shared this yet on your social media platforms, please feel free to do so. And get your friends and loved ones and your family in here with us tonight. But once again, the Great Awakening, straight from the White House. We all know where the Great Awakening comes from. This is one of the first phrases that Q would use. It's a beautiful thing. And that's what's happening right now. The world is waking up. We got Democrats and Republicans waking up. We have people of all persuasions waking up and walking away from the deep state. Not just the Democratic Party, but, yes, liberal bondage. I love that. Okay, now another amazing tweet from POTUS Press. This amazing meme right here. Fate whispers to Trump, you cannot withstand the storm. Trump whispers back, I am the storm. I am the storm. Another Q reference. Another Q reference direct from the White House. How much more blatant can you get, you guys? This is seriously double confirmation in a single day. These were on the 18th, but even still, confirmation nonetheless, coming right from the White House. We are part of the Great Awakening. Donald Trump is the storm. The storm has arrived, and we are taking out the trash. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Thank you so much, POTUS. Do appreciate everything you do. Now, I hope that everyone remembers the broadcast that I did where we were talking about the strange tweets from Donna Brazil. Well, Donna Brazil left another very strange tweet, a coded message maybe. She says, leave something behind, legacy, MLK Day. Once again, MLK was assassinated. We have Alexander Hamilton and Abraham Lincoln on the $5 bill and the $10 bill, respectively. What do these two presidents have in common? They were both killed. They were both killed. Hamilton, he died in a duel, I believe, and then Lincoln, of course, was assassinated. So we can't read this note that she left with this. It looks like maybe 15, that looks like it says hour. Maybe $15 an hour, then bless you, maybe. I don't know. But Donna Brazil saying another veiled allusion to assassination and referencing Martin Luther King. And then, of course, we had POTUS and VP visiting the Martin Luther King Memorial today, unscheduled. They seemed to think that that was very strange that POTUS would go do that unscheduled, but maybe he just didn't want them to know where he was going. But again, two presidents, two dead presidents. Donna Brazil calling attention to it. Ian McCullough, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. I do appreciate that. Donna Brazil, apparently she deleted her last tweet about President Pelosi. But I am definitely thinking that Donna Brazil has got something that she's trying to say to someone out there. I think that the deep state is freaking out right now. Totally freaking out. Why would Pelosi take her whole family on a trip? And to Afghanistan, nonetheless. Why would Nancy Pelosi take her family to Afghanistan? The first thing I thought was that she was trying to get her entire extended family out of Washington, D.C., or at least out of the United States, in case some tragic event was going to take place. But thank God nothing's happened so far, but the day's not over. I think they probably would have done it earlier in the day, though, for maximum news coverage. All right, so now we're going to get into the reason I've called you all here tonight. I've had a lot of viewers over the last couple days tell me that they wanted me to check out this Operation Hammer, Obama's Operation Hammer, which was essentially his undercover operation to spy on all these, top-notch, high-level people. Yeah, she was getting her cabinet out of the country, right, for plausible deniability. And then she was going to go meet with NATO leaders and all of her deep state allies over in Europe and then over in Afghanistan. But either way, President Hamilton, yep, same as Kennedy assassination. You're right, Big Daddy knows everything. Big Daddy knows everything is right. That's exactly what happened with the Kennedy assassination. All of the cabinet members just happened to be outside of the country. Again, plausible deniability. All right, so now that we've got almost 1,200 people in the chat, hi everybody. Thank you so much for joining me once again. I am RedPill78, and I'm so glad to see you tonight. So this is an article from The New American, and it's from Saturday, January 12th. Whistleblower says, Obama-era deep state surveillance program spied on Trump, judges, and others. As the endless drone of Trump-Russia collusion continues, more evidence is coming to light that key Democrats, including President Barack Obama, used the power of the surveillance state to illegally spy on prominent Americans, including Donald Trump even before he was a candidate. As part of what President Trump has repeatedly called a witch hunt, the Obama administration collected confidential data on Trump and others, according to freedom activist lawyer Larry Klayman, who is also the founder of both Judicial Watch and Freedom Watch. Klayman's claim is not new. In fact, it's not even really his claim. It comes from his client, former NSA and CIA contractor Dennis Montgomery, who left the CIA and NSA with 47 hard drives and over 600 million pages of information, much of which is classified, showing the spy agencies were engaged for years in a systematic illegal surveillance on prominent Americans, including the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, other justices, 156 judges, prominent businessmen such as Donald Trump and Larry Klayman himself, according to an op-ed piece written by Klayman in March 2017. The purpose of that illegal deep state surveillance, Klayman surmises, is for potential coercion, blackmail, and other nefarious purposes. I think that is a fairly good idea, fairly good summation of why they would be doing that. Joanne Dillon, thank you so much for the super chat. I love you too, and I love everyone who's here tonight in this chat room with me. And even the people who are watching for the rebroadcast. Thank you for showing up on my channel. Given the way that the deep state and its Democrat political accomplices have attacked, derided, smeared, and undermined Donald Trump since as soon as he became a viable candidate, it is easy to follow and believe Klayman's assertion. In June 2017, Klayman joined Montgomery in suing former FBI Director James Comey, alleging that the FBI under Comey's leadership was involved in a cover-up of the FBI targeting both Klayman and Montgomery, along with others, as subjects of illegal surveillance. As Klayman stated after filing the suit, former FBI Director Comey and his agency have not only illegally spied on Mr. Montgomery and me, but have covered up and thus engaged in an obstruction of justice of the FBI's and the other intelligence agencies' illegal and unconstitutional mass surveillance. In the process of this illegal behavior, they have seriously damaged Montgomery and me, and they will be held fully accountable under the rule of law for this and other torturous acts, which should also now be included in an ongoing grand jury investigation of special counsel Robert Mueller. When Montgomery walked away from his NSA-CIA contract in 2015 with those hundreds of millions of damning documents, he did so as a whistleblower. But as Klayman wrote in the above-cited op-ed piece, when Montgomery came forward as a whistleblower to congressional intelligence committees and various other congressmen and senators, including Senator Charles Grassley, chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, who, like Comey, once had a reputation for integrity, he was blown off. No one wanted to even hear what he had to say. Klayman offers two believable, possible reasons for the cold shoulder Montgomery received from the Congressional Intelligence and Judiciary Committees. Montgomery's allegations were either too hot to handle, or those committees already knew that this unconstitutional surveillance was being undertaken. The second option would mean that the deep state has deep roots and may well be controlling some of those committees. It could be that the coercion and blackmail Klayman mentioned is at the foundation of that control. The lawsuit against Comey stems from then FBI Director Comey buying Montgomery's silence, buying Montgomery's evidence, burying his evidence. Jeez, I'm sorry, guys. After being blown off by those who, as part of their congressional duties, are charged with watching the watchers, Montgomery went to Klayman. With the help of the Honorable Royce Lamberth of the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia, who also served as presiding judge of the United States Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court from 1995 to 2002, Klayman brought Montgomery forward to FBI Director James Comey through his general counsel, James Baker. We know that name. After receiving an immunity deal to prevent being charged for removing classified information, Montgomery turned over the hard drives to the FBI and submitted to being interviewed by agents. In that interview, which was conducted and videoed by special FBI agents Walter Giardina and William Barnett, Montgomery laid out how persons such as then-businessman Donald Trump were illegally spied upon by Clapper, Brennan, and the spy agencies of the Obama administration, according to Klayman. Even more damning, Klayman says Montgomery told the agents that the information on those hard drives shows that these spy agencies had manipulated voting in Florida during the 2008 presidential campaign, which illegal tampering resulted in helping Obama to win the White House. What was the result of that interview and turning over those drives? Nothing. Montgomery was again ignored. While both Montgomery and Klayman are controversial figures, the fact is irrelevant to the point of whether what they are telling the truth. That is best determined by examining their claims in light of the evidence. That evidence is damning to the deep state. On March 19, 2017, Lieutenant General Thomas McInerney, who served as a commander of 11th Air Force in Alaska, as well as other top military positions under the Secretary of Defense and the Vice President of the United States before his retirement in 1994, was a guest on Ann Arbor's WAAM radio program, Operation Freedom. McInerney told host Dr. Dave Janda that he has just received from retired four-star Admiral James Ace Lyons, who had served as commander in the U.S. Navy's Pacific Fleet from 1985 to 1987, information showing that President Obama's Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper, and Central Intelligence Agency Director John Brennan oversaw a secret computer system known as the Hammer. That program was used to conduct illegal and unconstitutional government data harvesting and wiretapping. While reading the message from Lyons, McInerney states that Montgomery is the original source of the information. The revelation of the Hammer meshes perfectly with WikiLeaks' Vault 7 revelations of a CIA project codenamed Hammer that is used to conduct mobile phone hacking for the purpose of turning a target's mobile phone into a surveillance tool. Special counsel Robert Mueller, who is leading the investigation of Trump-Russia collusion, is also implicated as being involved in the illegal surveillance program during his tenure as director of the FBI from 2001 to 2013. In an interview exclusive with CDN, Klayman said that the FBI under Mueller was the supplier of the computers used to conduct the illegal surveillance on Trump and others. Montgomery is quoted in the article as declaring, "This is very, very, very powerful technology, and it was created under Robert Mueller's watch. The last person I would think that should be investigating Donald Trump is Robert Mueller, who was collecting information on Donald Trump 10 years ago. Mueller has a huge conflict of interest, a huge conflict of interest." Further evidence comes from the trove of text messages back and forth between those two now infamous FBI agents, Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, who were no more careful about exposing their political agenda than they were about exposing their extramarital affair. Strzok and Page worked on both the Clinton email server investigation and the Trump-Russia collusion investigation. Text messages back and forth between the two reveal plans to protect Hillary Clinton from the consequences of operating an illegal email server and an insurance policy they and others inside the deep state had in place to either keep Donald Trump from winning the election or at least delegitimize his presidency if he were to win. Mueller, who was up to his neck in the illegal surveillance of Trump years before he was a candidate, and other private U.S. citizens, appears to be that insurance policy. And to put in the for what it's worth column, it was Mueller, in his capacity as FBI director, who personally delivered the highly enriched uranium to Russia as part of then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's Uranium One scandal. Pardon me. That scandal filled Hillary's financial coffers while selling off roughly a quarter of America's uranium reserves to the very people she and Mueller are now accusing Trump of colluding with. Within hours of McInerney's revelation of the Hammer, Strzok and Page texted back and forth about Klayman and Montgomery, mentioning them by name, saying about an email they had just received, "I'm not going to respond to the whole group. The Klayman-Montgomery stuff in the email Jim just sent us is utter BS. Best to say nothing and brief later if necessary." The weaponization of illegally gathered data on Supreme Court justices, 159 Article 3 judges, elected officials, and 20 million other Americans, including Donald Trump, alleged by Montgomery and Klayman and demonstrated by the evidence that continues to come forward, seems to have been the deep state's most powerful tool in controlling the direction of America. With the surprise election of Donald Trump, that program appears ready to be fully exposed. That is exposure the deep state cannot stand. Wow. I mean, not that it's all that much of a surprise, but it's great to see it in writing and know that we're not crazy. Like, how many times have you been on the phone with somebody and you're like, oh, God, they're listening. I feel like a crazy person saying that. But you know that they can. You know that it's totally possible. All they have to do is just flip your phone on. That's why Mark Zuckerberg puts a piece of tape over the camera on his laptop. That's why these people have the cachet in the world that they do. Because when you compromise somebody like that, you know, I mean, think about all the stuff people do when they're alone, when no one's around. What are they saying? You know, who are they texting? What are they writing down? Plant Love, thank you so much for that super chat, and greetings from the USA, and I'm glad to have you, my friend from the North. Think about everything people do. All of the stuff that is done when you think you're alone, when you think no one's listening, okay? You know, just like unflattering outfits that people might wear, like sitting at home in their sweatpants. A lot of people could be controlled by something like that. You know, it doesn't take much. If somebody is in a relationship, okay, like these politicians, it seems like they all cheat on their spouses. Okay, as soon as somebody finds out, they use that against them. And then, then we get to the honeypot stuff. This is why they have these networks set up, unfortunately, with children. It's because they know that they can use them. There are sick people out there, and they want to be able to control them. And if you are feeding them the drugs that they need, and by, I'm not even only talking about adrenochrome, but I'm also talking about just, whatever their kink is, then you've got somebody in your back pocket, all right? And if that thing that you're into is highly illegal, and your family is going to disown you, and everyone is going to, just kick you out, then, it makes you a lot more easy to control. How's the buffering going, guys? I see one person say that buffering a lot. My stream health appears to be okay. Let me see here. Yeah. Stream health, there we go. Video output low. Why is the video output low? The stream was good at 9:15. Well, okay. Thanks, guys. I appreciate everybody telling me what they're doing. Okay, so it looks like overall the stream is doing well. It looks like it's good to me in my my window over here in my live dashboard on YouTube. Okay, better than normal, Siski Scorpion. Okay, cool. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to say special thanks to Dr. Dave Janda for getting that information out of Larry Klayman. That's awesome. Okay, that's not what I want to look at. Here we go. All right, so speaking of Jim Baker, former top FBI lawyer personally involved in the FISA warrant for Trump aid and other Russia probe irregularities, the transcript shows. I haven't hit my vape yet, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and hit it just one time. I had a lot of people mad at me, telling me to stop vaping. And I don't want to make anybody angry, but, I'm an adult. And this is my prerogative. I want to vape. But I don't want to blow you guys' ears out, okay? All right, so a former top FBI lawyer acknowledged he was personally involved in the warrant application to surveil then-Trump campaign aide Carter Page, and confirmed other unusual steps taken in the FBI's Russia probe in 2016 during a closed-door congressional interview. I was aware of the Russia investigation, James Baker told House investigators in October. Fox News has confirmed details of the transcript, which is still under government review before its public release. Vape your heart out. You guys are sweet. Thank you. I just changed my batteries, too. All right. Baker said he was briefed on the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act as time went by, and recalled how he got involved early in the process. The warrant relied heavily on the unverified anti-Trump dossier, which was financed by the Democratic National Committee and the Hillary Clinton campaign via the law firm Perkins Coie, Obama's law firm. I don't want to see it at the end, like when it is about to go to the director for certification, because then it is hard to make changes then, Baker told House investigators when Republicans controlled the chamber. So I wanted to see it when it was gelled enough, but before it went through the process and before it went to the director. I wanted to see it and I wanted to read it because I knew it was sensitive. Fox News confirmed the Baker transcript also includes the following exchange with investigators regarding his involvement in the surveillance application. Question. So that is why you took the abnormal or unusual step in this particular situation, because it was sensitive? Baker. Yes. Question. So you actually got involved because you want to make sure that... What? Baker. I wanted to make sure that we were filing something that would adhere to the law and stand up over time. Baker also told lawmakers, as part of the joint investigations by the House Judiciary and Oversight Committees, that it was not routine for him to get involved personally in such matters. I did not, at that point in time when I was with the FBI, almost all of the FISA applications did not go through me. So Baker took special interest in this case. We all know why. Fox News first reported last fall that Baker said his contact with a top lawyer working with the Democratic National Committee and Clinton campaign in late 2016 as federal investigators prepared the surveillance warrant was also unusual. Well, guy, what are you doing, Jim? Baker said Perkins Coie lawyer Michael Sussman initiated contact with him and provided documents describing the contact with the private lawyer as unusual and the only time it happened. You guys want to know something else? Perkins Coie is also the place where the first claim of the Trump Alpha Bank connection came from. Perkins Coie also dropped that little one. Perkins Coie was a key player in the funding of the controversial anti-Trump dossier, which Republicans have long suspected helped fuel the FBI's investigation. The DNC and Clinton campaign had hired opposition research firm Fusion GPS in April 2016 through Perkins Coie to dig into Trump's background. Fusion, in turn, paid British ex-spy Christopher Steele to compile the dossier, memos from which were shared with the FBI in the summer of 2016. You guys, one thing I just thought of, if the Obama administration was spying on Trump for 10 years, okay, prior to him being even a candidate, the fact that they had to make up the Russia dossier speaks volumes to Trump's character, because if there was anything, then they would have known about it, and they would have put it in the dossier because they would have gotten it illegally. So they would not have been able to use it in a legal sense. They would have had it given to them. So, I am even more firm in my opinion of President Donald Trump. He is truly a wonderful man. Here you go, guys. Asked about Baker's statements in October, however, a Perkins Coie spokesperson said Sussman's contact was not connected to the firm's representation of the DNC or Clinton campaign. The spokesperson said in a statement, prior to joining Perkins Coie, Michael Sussman served as a cybercrime prosecutor in the criminal division of the Department of Justice during both Republican and Democratic administrations. As a result, Sussman is regularly retained by clients with complex cybersecurity matters. The Art of the Deal. Yes, I need to get a copy of The Art of the Deal. I think I have it actually on PDF, but it's nothing like actually, holding a book in your hand, a paper book. When Sussman met with Baker on behalf of a client, the meeting was not connected to the firm's representation of the Hillary Clinton campaign, the DNC, or any political law group client. Well, who was that client then? Why would someone from the law firm representing Hillary Clinton and the DNC be meeting with the FBI on this very subject and not be talking about them? Since then, Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee Chairman Ron Johnson, Republican Wisconsin, formally requested further information from the FBI about the contact. Further, conservative watchdog Judicial Watch launched a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit in December against the Department of Justice, seeking records of all meetings in 2016 between former FBI General Counsel James Baker and the Perkins Coie law firm. Fox News reached out to representatives for Baker and Perkins Coie to provide additional comment or context. The Epoch Times earlier reported some details of the Baker transcript. Well, that will be it for this article here. James Baker is dirty. And I think that he's in a lot of trouble. He's under a criminal investigation now for leaking. He is going to have some really, really difficult decisions to make. He's either going to have to take the fall for this, or he's going to be forced to turn on his puppet masters. And I really hope that he's going to be turning on his puppet masters. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Follow-up from the Ruth Bader Ginsburg debacle this morning on Fox News. From the Washington Examiner. Fox News apologizes for graphics suggesting the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Wink, wink. Fox News apologized Monday morning after accidentally displaying a screen that appeared to be a prepared graphic for the death of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. We need to apologize, Fox and Friends host Steve Doocy said. At the beginning of co-host Ainsley Earhart's interview with the professor, a technical error in the control room triggered a graphic of Ruth Bader Ginsburg with a date on it. That was a mistake. That was an accident. We believe she is still at home recovering from surgery. Now, here's the thing, guys. If you've ever been in a control room at a TV studio, you'll know that there's like a big bank of buttons. All right, they have all these monitors, these chroma keys, And they've got things that they've got prepared, okay? They prepare something when they expect that it has happened or that it has already happened. And I think that somebody mentioned to me on Twitter today, I can't remember, I've gotten so many messages, but did I think that this was a drop from Q, like a subtle drop from Q? I think it's totally possible. I think that there could be someone working there in the Fox News studio that, asked for this to be prepared and then accidentally just hit the button and put it up on air. Oh, it's okay. Too little, too late. No problem, buddy. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate you coming back. You can always split your screen and put RedPill78 on the left and then put hockey on the right-hand side. Or you can swap it, go left and right, whatever you want to do. The in memoriam graphic flashed right after a commercial break and read Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, 1933 to 2019. This was a technical error that emanated from the graphics team, a Fox News spokesperson told the Washington Examiner. Ginsburg underwent surgery last month to remove 2 malignant nodules found in her lung. At the time, immediately following the surgery, Supreme Court spokeswoman Kathy Arberg said that the 85-year-old justice is resting comfortably. The nodules were first discovered after Ginsburg fell and fractured 3 ribs in November, or that's a convenient cover story. Ginsburg is the oldest sitting Supreme Court justice and has had her fair share of medical issues. About a decade ago, she survived pancreatic cancer, which has a very low survival rate. President Trump has already appointed 2 justices to the Supreme Court within the first 2 years in office, with the sudden death of Justice Antonin Scalia and Justice Anthony Kennedy's retirement. Hello, everyone. Thank you once again for joining me. I am RedPill78. Just want to say hello for anybody who was not here at the start of the broadcast. We now have almost 2,000 people in the chat. I'm showing 1,970. Somebody else says 2,050. Is that right? 2,050 people. Can we get a count? Can I get a random sampling from the audience? All right, now next, this is about Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, you know what? I forgot. I was going to mention Scalia again. Remember from this morning, guys, that Antonin Scalia died, and about 12 days or 9 days before that, Merrick Garland visited the White House. So Obama knew, wow, look at that. Thanks, guys. It's crazy how the numbers are all over the place for different people. But we seem to be within 1 million view roarback. We've got 1 million chatters. So Nancy Pelosi was charged. She charged the Air Force nearly $200,000 to fly her and her family and lawmakers to Italy and Ukraine. Okay, you guys, I'm going to turn on slow mode now that we're over 2,000 people. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I got to close it so I can do that. Okay, guys, I also set the slow-mo to 30 seconds, not 60 seconds. Because I think that that's enough. There we go. All right, you guys are back. Here we go. Angela Nell, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I've worked on that giggle my whole life. I've been working on that Kavanaugh smile. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's congressional delegation to Belgium, Egypt, and Afghanistan garnered extra attention after President Trump banned her from using military aircraft. But the trip would not have been the first time she used Air Force money to travel the world. Okay, yeah, sorry, Siski. Pelosi's trip to Italy and Ukraine from July 30th to August 6th, 2015 cost the Air Force $184,587.81, according to documents released Saturday under a 2015 FOIA lawsuit by Judicial Watch. Her delegation was made up of 9 other members of Congress, including Democratic reps Anna Eshoo of California and Marcia Fudge of Ohio. 4 family members, including Pelosi's husband Paul Pelosi, were on the trip. The delegation dined at restaurants including James Beard American Restaurant in Milan, where a 5-course meal cost up to $190, according to fine dining lovers. Well, first of all, can you guys imagine traveling to Italy and then going to the James Beard American Restaurant? I mean, I'm sure it's lovely, okay? But like, just me personally, I would probably be going to, some local Italian fare. That's just me, I guess. The lawmakers also toured the Vatican and met up with Italian dignitaries, including President Sergio Mattarella and then Prime Minister Matteo Renzi, according to their itinerary. Pelosi's team apparently had some pretty specific requests for the Air Force officials working with them to coordinate their trip. You're going to love this. Codell Pelosi is requesting the crew they had on this earlier attached trip. Apparently, they were very pleased with their service. I already told the escort chances were slim, an unidentified Air Force official wrote in an email July 9th, 2015. Overall, Pelosi's European excursion cost the Air Force about the same amount of money it would take to send a student to Harvard University for 4 years. Judicial Watch compared the trip to Republican Colorado Senator Cory Gardner's Codell trip, with multiple stops in East Asia in August 2015. The trip, led by Gardner, a member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, cost at least $26,009.03 for commercial flights and per diems, according to records cited by Judicial Watch. Judicial Watch has called out Pelosi for abuse of travel perks since 2009. The conservative watchdog group wrote in a statement January 14th, 2016, VTTD, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you for the super chat, my friend. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoy my work. Beginning in 2009, after the media failed to follow up on concerns raised about Pelosi's use of luxury Air Force jets to travel between her congressional district and D.C., Judicial Watch's Freedom of Information Act requests exposed her abuse of this travel perk. Judicial Watch uncovered that Pelosi's military travel cost the United States Air Force $2,100,744.59 over one 2-year period. Wow. $101,429.14 of which was for in-flight expenses, including food and alcohol. Can you guys believe it? It just disgusts me. We've got an incredible budget deficit and incredible debt, and we've got our elected officials running around on our dimes, just spending money willy-nilly, just completely wasting it. Completely. Not having a care in the world for what's going to happen. Well, what does she care? I mean, she's what is she, like 79? How old is Nancy Pelosi? I don't even know. All I know is that Nancy Pelosi is well past her prime. Yes, $56,000 on booze on one flight. Just disgusting. Pelosi blamed Trump after she canceled her congressional delegation Codell to Afghanistan, reasoning that Trump's public suggestion that she fly commercial had made the trip too high profile and dangerous. The speaker was planning to embark on a trip to Belgium, Egypt, and Afghanistan Thursday when Trump essentially canceled it last minute via letter. Due to the shutdown, I am sorry to inform you that your trip to Brussels, Egypt, and Afghanistan has been postponed. We will reschedule this 7-day excursion when the shutdown is over, Trump wrote. In light of the 800,000 great American workers not receiving pay, I'm sure you would agree that postponing this public relations event is totally appropriate. Don't you guys love how Nancy Pelosi cancels the State of the Union or threatens to cancel the State of the Union on President Trump, and the mainstream fake news media just goes wild. Oh, Nancy Pelosi flexing her muscles. What a class act. And as soon as Trump writes this letter, which I thought was very, very eloquent, nicely worded, very polite, but with just enough of a sting to let her know who's boss. Everyone in the mainstream media turns around and says Donald Trump is the same as a schoolyard bully. Nana nana boo boo, Trump. Donald Trump is an immature brat. You got to be kidding me. It doesn't matter what he does. It doesn't matter how he does it. Satan followed me on Twitter today. You're kidding. J4J Rothschild. It's probably because of your last name. Satan followed you on Twitter today. That's insane. Trump's letter came a day after Pelosi sent him a letter Wednesday seeking to delay his State of the Union address until after the shutdown ends. Trump's address is scheduled for January 29th. Many congressional Republicans have floated plans to allow Trump to bypass Pelosi's invitation to deliver the address. Republican Kentucky Senator Kentucky Republican Senator Rand Paul suggested Trump bypass the House of Representatives entirely and deliver the speech from the Senate floor Thursday. Daily Caller News Foundation requested comment from Pelosi's office, but did not receive a response at the time of publication. Yes. Nancy Pelosi, the Democrats, and I got to be honest with you, there's plenty of Republicans too who just, they don't think, they don't realize that the decisions they make, the money they spend today, it has to be paid back down the line. And that's being paid back by us. You guys, what is it? There's 300 million people in the United States, something like that. And Nancy Pelosi voted to give $54 billion to in foreign aid to other countries. 54 divided by 300. 300 million. Oh, my calculator doesn't go high enough. If they were to give that money to people here in America, then that would be enough for everybody to pay off their student loan debt, everybody to pay off their credit cards, everybody to buy their cars, all of that stuff. Senator Kamala Harris is also running for president. She says she's running for president because the future of our democracy is at stake. Please, God, please, thank you so much. We have an amazing slate of Democratic frontrunners coming up here in 2020. This is going to be one of the best presidential cycles, if not the best, only because our last presidential cycle was incredible. Someone told me that Kamala Harris isn't even an American citizen. She's an anchor baby or something like that. Neither of her parents were American citizens. Or maybe she's an American citizen, but her parents were not born here. Good evening, everyone. Yes, made it a live show again. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mark Hill. Let's see here. Senator Kamala Harris announced on Monday that she will be running for president in 2020 because the future of democracy is at stake. Harris, a staunch opponent of President Trump, previously served as Attorney General of the state of California. And we know $180,000 per person. Thank you so much, Brittany's One with Christ. Can you imagine if this woman was running the United States? Like how permissive everything would be. What would they be getting rid of? This would be like the George Soros prosecutor from St. Louis that I did the story on the other day, running the country. Kamala Harris did not do California any favors. The California Democrat is a critic of the government shutdown, saying there is no need for a wall, but they need a paycheck. Moreover, Harris has also been outspoken on the nomination of former Attorney General William Barr. She recently asked him to recuse himself from the Mueller investigation if he is nominated. Barr insisted he would not. She is not a natural-born citizen, Lindsay says. Isn't she a Canadian? So how is she going to run for president? This is Obama 2.0. How is this even possible? It's like they just figure there's enough people out there in the United States that don't know anything about the law, don't realize what it takes to actually run for president. I mean, I guess she could run for president, but she can't be elected president. Oh, good Lord. Further, Harris also opposed the confirmation process of then Judge Brett Kavanaugh. Harris, who led a harsh round of questioning, expressed her dissent, calling Kavanaugh unfit. I got to take a drink of water, guys. Oh, and perfect time for me to say thank you, Christine Siebel. I love it that you are here watching my channel. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's see here. Get back to the article. She said the White House... when Dr. Christine Blasey Ford came forward with serious and credible allegations of sexual assault, not only was she attacked by Senate Republicans, she was mocked by the President of the United States, Harris said. She said the White House prevented the FBI from investigating critical aspects of the allegations or interviewing key witnesses. She accused the administration of not even permitting the FBI to interview Judge Kavanaugh and Dr. Ford. The accusation was dismissed by the Senate Judiciary Committee and the FBI. The FBI had already interviewed Kavanaugh and conducted a thorough background investigation before his nomination. Kamala Harris, breaking news. I just announced I'm running for president and I need your support. Will you chip in now to give us the strongest possible start? Shekels, give me them monies. I'm running for president. Let's do this together. Join us at KamalaHarris.org. Not going to do it, Kamala. I wish that someone in the media would come out and ask Kamala Harris about her citizenship and the legality of her running for president. Next. I got to cut that out. I'm so sorry, everybody. So sorry about that. On to the information about the Native American Vietnam vet who said that he was harassed by those kids. We are actually going to be debuting a video of mine that I was unable to put out from. Okay, no, I'm glad if people didn't see it. I'm not busted. I was on 8chan. I was on 8chan, and I was trying to show us an article about AI being on the boards and being on Twitter and stuff like that. But gosh, I need to be more careful. It was on a completely different part, and you just can't. I should not even pull up 8chan while I'm trying to do a live stream. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so this is the guy giving his side of the story. All right.
I heard them saying, build that wall, build that wall. You know, this is indigenous lands. You know, we're not supposed to have walls here. We never did. For millenniums, before anybody else came here, we never had walls. We never had a prison. We always took care of our elders. We took care of our children. We always provided for them. You know, we taught them right from wrong. I wish I could see that energy of that young mass of young men, you know, to put that energy into, you know, making this country really, really great. You know?
All right, so basically he was saying that they were yelling, build the wall. They were saying all that crap to him. And it's not true, okay? We saw the actual video. We saw what happened. These kids were doing chants for their school. They were spirit chants. All right, it was as if they were at a pep rally. They were trying to drown out some horrible, horrible people that I'm not actually going to play this video because it's just chock full of expletives and they're calling them some really nasty names. But it just goes to show you that you have to have the full story, all right? And this is why people are eating crow over what happened yesterday. From the Gateway Pundit, new video surfaces of Covington students being bullied by protesters. Warning, it's awful. I will leave this in the comments below, you guys, so that you can go ahead and check it out yourself. The Covington Catholic High School students have maintained that they were doing school chants to drown out the hateful bullying they were getting from adult protesters. Adults. These were adults that were treating these children like this. A shocking new video confirms their account fully. When asked by Gateway Pundit if she wanted to comment on the video, one of the mothers of a 14-year-old child who was present said that she was too busy crying. The heartbroken mom cried as she reacted to the video, horrified that no adult stepped in to protect the children from the racist hate being spewed at them. The men were cursing the boys out, calling them dirty-ass crackers, racist, the B word, and worse. Look at these dusty crackers with that racist garbage on. Look at these dirty crackers, the man says as he filmed the students. Can't stand in the dang sun for 5 minutes. Another man screamed at them about the wall, saying, "Let me ask you something. Y'all want to build a wall for Mexico. When's the last time you ever seen a Mexican, a Hispanic, a Native American, or a Negro shoot up a school?" "Yeah, crickets," the man filming shouted. The other man continued, "All you mother effers are school shooters, a bunch of future school shooters." Speaking to the Gateway Pundit on Sunday, one of the students explained what happened. "We went to the Lincoln Memorial because that is where our bus was going," the student explained. "We were standing there when a group of 4 African-American protesters started calling us crackers and school shooters." Go for broke. Thank you so much, buddy. I do appreciate it. This work is important to me, and I am pleased to be able to bring it to you. And thank you for being here, everyone. So we started doing school cheers because our school is very big on school spirit. We have a lot of chants and cheers that we do, so we started doing them. Eventually, while we were doing that, the Native American man approached us, and he was banging his drum. He walked directly into the crowd and approached the one student that is all over the place right now. The boy just stood there. When I first saw it happening, I was really confused. I didn't know what was happening. I just saw this man approach a fellow student and start banging a drum in his face. His account has now been entirely confirmed by this horrific video. Well, it basically in the video, these black Israelites, they're called, they're standing there and they're saying all that stuff to them. They're calling at them. They're just saying just horrible things. And the students don't respond. They walk away. Okay? They do the big thing, you know? I mean, they have much better characters than these people. And then that Native American guy with the drum comes walking up. Now, do you guys know who this guy is? Representative John Yarmouth. He's the one who called for a complete ban of MAGA hats. A complete ban of MAGA hats. He doesn't want kids wearing MAGA hats anymore. He says he was joking now that it came out that these kids didn't do what they were accused of. House Budget Committee Chairman John Yarmouth has retracted his call for a ban on Make America Great Again hats, saying he was only joking, following a widely reported incident between MAGA cap teens and a Native American elder. The Kentucky Democrat created a stir when he tweeted Sunday, "I am calling for a total and complete shutdown of teenagers wearing MAGA hats until we can figure out what's going on. They seem to be poisoning young minds." Right, John. After a torrent of criticism on social media, he followed by saying President Trump's fans seem to be more upset about my obvious joke about banning hats than they were when the president said literally the same thing about banning actual human beings. Go figure. Okay, so he says, "I am calling for a total and complete shutdown of teenagers wearing MAGA hats until we can figure out what is going on. They seem to be poisoning young minds." And then the president's fans are upset. The conduct we saw in the video is beyond appalling. Did you watch the video, Representative Yarmouth? Obviously, he must not have watched the video because we watched the video. We watched the video together, guys. Remember that? And those kids were extremely well behaved. The tweets came after he blamed Mr. Trump Friday for the confrontation between Nathan Phillips, an Omaha elder, and teenage boys from Covington Catholic High School in Park Hills, Kentucky at the Lincoln Memorial. The teens have been accused of harassing Mr. Phillips during a sacred ceremony, but video clips posted Sunday show the Omaha tribal elder and several other adults walked towards the boys as they were performing a school cheer while waiting for a bus. Mr. Yarmouth blasted the teenagers' conduct as beyond appalling, but it didn't happen in a vacuum. This is a direct result of the racist hatred displayed daily by the President of the United States, who sadly some mistake for a role model, he tweeted Sunday. One teen, Nick Sandman, is shown staring at Mr. Phillips while other boys clapped and cheered in the background, but Mr. Sandman has since issued a statement saying he was trying to defuse the situation after being approached by Mr. Phillips. And we're actually going to go ahead and do that. Hey, buddy, you are helping. Sorry, I know what you said. We just want to help. I don't know what you're saying sorry for, bro. You have nothing to apologize for. Thank you so much for the super chat, guy. I appreciate that, my friend. So we are now going to read one more article about this terrifically horrible incident, and then we're going to see a world premiere video from Red Pill 78. From the Daily Caller, your complete guide to how the media tried ruining the lives of innocent teenagers. This is the state of the left and the fake news media today. The media smelled blood when a video seemingly showed a group of teenage boys bullying an older Native American protester. Newer videos showed that the protester had actually approached the students, who were also receiving slurs shouted by a group of radical activists. The media's misleading reports happened at a time when the students were facing death threats. Matthew Case, thank you for the super chat, buddy. 17, that's the magic number. Just mere days after BuzzFeed News dropped its hotly disputed report accusing President Donald Trump of obstruction of justice, the media decided to pick a new target: a group of teenage Catholic high school boys. On Friday, a group of male students from Covington Catholic High School in Kentucky found themselves in the middle of a media firestorm after an initial video gave the impression that they had mobbed a Native American protester. Media figures, still reeling from the wave of criticism, followed the BuzzFeed news fiasco Smelled Blood. Sure, the initial video didn't show the students assaulting anyone, but that didn't stop reporters, commentators, and Hollywood celebrities from focusing on the smirk of a student in the video, which somehow triggered painful memories of lonely prom nights and failed junior varsity sports tryouts. Oh my God. Of course, newer videos showed that the students were completely innocent. They were first taunted by a group of radical activists, and the Native American protester approached them. Even with this new information, CNN decided to report the story with the following headline. Video shows a crowd of teenagers wearing MAGA hats taunting a Native American elder after Friday's Indigenous Peoples March at the Lincoln Memorial. That never happened. What a setup. Facts first, of course, BuzzFeed News reporter Ann Helen Peterson made her colleagues proud by smearing one of the kids in the video and implied he had a future in sexually assaulting women. Peterson even acknowledged that other videos showed a completely different story, but that didn't stop her diatribe about why a teenage boy's face caused a visceral reaction. 10-year challenge. This is obviously Brett Kavanaugh, and then this is the kid. One theme of the conversations over the past 24 hours, how deeply familiar this look is. It's the look of white patriarchy, of course, but that familiarity, that banality, is part of what prompts the visceral reaction. This isn't spectacular. It's life in America. And you know what? There is nothing wrong with that look. That kid is a scholar and a gentleman, as is Brett Kavanaugh. I don't even care if he likes to drink beer. I don't drink beer, but Brett Kavanaugh can drink if he wants to. Now, 3 Washington Post reporters, as National Review's Michael Brendan Doherty neatly explained, framed their story on how a throng of young, mostly white teenage boys, several wearing Make America Great Again caps, surrounded the Native American protester Nathan Phillips and reported that he felt threatened. Even the New York Times seemingly contradicted itself halfway through its own report. Phillips was encircled by an animated group of high school boys. Disrespectful, but on Sunday, Mr. Phillips clarified it was he who had approached the crowd and that he had intervened because racial tensions, primarily because the white students and the black men were coming to a boiling point. The Atlantic's James Fallows, just hours after the video was released, wrote a bizarre column comparing the young boys to pro-segregation activists. Fallows seemed to even recognize that other footage might give a more complete picture of the incident, but he chose to brush this off as just whatever happened. Even on Monday morning, MSNBC was still tweeting out clips from shows expressing sympathy for Fallows. One woman who purports to have been there said she witnessed something that was very aggressive and something that was very frightening. Okay, we're going to watch this lying left media here.
This is the video that you're talking about. This is what you've seen of this incident. The high school says it's investigating, says it will take appropriate action. What action would be appropriate to you?
Clearly, those students have no idea who Native American people are. To surround an Indigenous elder and chant "Build the Wall" kind of exposes that it really has nothing to do with border security. It seems like it's an issue of race and white supremacy. So I would encourage that school to obviously educate their students about Native people, who we are, what they were actually seeing, and how disrespectful their actions were.
What would your message be to conservatives, for example, who look at this video and who look at the other videos around this event and who have a different interpretation of what happened?
It was unequivocally condemned by the high school. They said there is no gray area. So to the people that are saying back and forth, well, it was this version and I have this angle, and I was there. And I witnessed something that was very aggressive and something that was very frightening.
With these groups chanting at each other, basically.
Exactly. Right. And to see that kind of level of antagonism and hate, you know, it's, you can't fake that.
What hate? What hate, I ask you? Wait, HRC tweeted a $5 response to Brazil's tweet? Oh, we got to look that up before we watch the video. There was no hate. Those kids were not hating. That man is a liar. He's an actor. I was going to say the C word, actor, but he's an actor. You all know what I mean. Rhymes with, I can't say what it rhymes with because that'll get me blocked too. Other reporters like the New York Times' Jonathan Capehart stood in solidarity with Phillips, while others like esteemed tech journalist Kara Swisher said this is exactly why Americans needed that insipid Gillette ad. Ugh. And to all you aggrieved folks who thought this Gillette ad was too much bad men shaming after we just saw it come to life with those awful kids and their fetid smirking harassing that elderly man on the mall, go F yourselves. Wow, Kara, tell us how you really feel. So this is what it's come to. This is what we've come to in America. You can't smile at someone. It's only appropriate if you're yelling epithets or slurs at someone. These people, I just can't even believe it. In fairness, a number of individuals apologized and shared the newer videos demonstrating the students' innocence, which you can find in this piece by the Daily Caller's Scott Moorfield. Despite these efforts, it's important to keep in mind that the media's efforts to tarnish the reputations of these innocent kids was being done while other social media users were encouraging violence and sending death threats. Her tweet about the rich few running our country. Okay, we'll go ahead and check that out. Honest question. Have you ever seen a more punchable face than this kid's? Reza Aslan. CNN journalist, isn't he? Isn't he the one who ate the brains, you guys? He's in good company with HRC. One would think that following the fallout from the disputed BuzzFeed report, the media would take a minute before trying to ruin any more innocent lives, particularly when we're talking about kids. Yet this whole episode makes one thing clear. Journalists aren't willing to learn a thing. Good article, Joe. God, I couldn't believe it. And even the response from some people on the right, guys, they were just as eager to go and just bash these kids. I think that they probably didn't watch the video and they did not want to be associated with anything approaching racism, in a MAGA hat. And so they went after him. And then it came out and they had to eat crow too. I'd like to punch Reza Aslan in the face too. All right, so real quick, we're going to go back to Twitter. No, we'll go over here. Twitter. There we go. We'll go to Hillary Clinton. We'll check out that tweet. Hillary Clinton. Oh my God, this is a great one too. Alex Kranz. This also has to do with that. From elementary school through college, I went to school with sheltered upper middle class white boys who could devastate with a smirk. You don't want to see this smile then, Alex. A facial gesture that weaponized their privilege. Infuriatingly, you can't fight that effing smirk with a punch or words. We saw that as Trump smirked his way through the election, and we'll see it in that boy from Kentucky's friends, family, and school protect him. I effing hate that smirk. It says I'm richer, I'm white, and I'm a guy. My existence trumps your experience. Few things make me as angry as that smirk. I've learned the best recourse is to ignore them and keep dismantling their power structures. Oh, God. Oh, God. I don't know how many people were smiling at you, Alex. You seem to have a really, really awful way about you. Let's see. Clinton. Hillary Clinton. Dollar bills, y'all. Hillary Clinton and Donna Brazile. Trading bills. Let's see. It looks like this is it. You're right. That is Abraham Lincoln. 9 years since Citizens United, the amount of money in politics hasn't changed dramatically, but who funds politics has. A handful of donors who make multi-million-dollar contributions. The result, disastrous laws like Trump's tax giveaway to the rich. Whatever. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She is perfect example of the people who are getting multi-million-dollar donations. Remember, she had a set of campaign promises for the people, and then she had a set of campaign promises for the bankers. What was it, Goldman Sachs? We are so lucky that Hillary Clinton is not the president, guys. All right, so we have reached the point in our program where we will watch a world premiere video from Red Pill 78. Is everyone ready? All right, I'm showing 1,954 people in the chat. You guys are the lucky ones. Here we go. This is the young man's statement to regarding the incident with this drummer. Good evening, everyone. You're listening to Red Pill 78. I am the corruption detector, and this is your Red Pill News. Here we have a follow-up to the story, the tragic story about those kids from Covington Catholic High School who were smeared by the press. They received death threats. They were also hailed by the press as some type of terrible racists. It wasn't true. None of it was true. They did not do what they were accused of. And the student, one of the students who was particularly targeted by the media, has released a statement. Now, I'm not going to say his name because I don't want YouTube to say that I am trying to target him. But this young man, you can see his name on the screen, the Covington Catholic High School student who has been targeted by Democrats, leftist celebrities, and creepy journalists, has released a statement about the incident in which a Native American man harassed him and banged a drum in his face. He explained that prior to the Native American man confronting him, a group of African American protesters had confronted he and his friends. The protesters said hateful things. They called us racists, bigots, white crackers, the F word, and incest kids. They also taunted an African American student from my school by telling him that we would harvest his organs. I have no idea what that insult means, but it was startling to hear, the statement explained. Sandman continued, the student continued, because we were being loudly attacked and taunted in public, a student in our group asked one of our teacher chaperones for permission to begin our school spirit chants to counter the hateful things that were being shouted at our group. The chants are commonly used at sporting events. They are all positive in nature and sound like what you would hear at any other high school. Our chaperone gave us permission to use our school chants. We would not have done it without obtaining permission from the adults in charge of our group. The student explained that at no time did he hear any student chant anything other than the school spirit chants. Our chants were loud because we wanted to drown out the hateful comments that were being shouted at us by protesters, the student explained. He then said after a few minutes of chanting, the Native American protesters, who he hadn't previously noticed, approached his group, accompanied by someone with a camera. The protester everyone has seen in the video began playing his drum as he waded into the crowd, which parted for him. I did not see anyone try to block his path. He locked eyes with me and approached me, coming within inches of my face. He played his drum the entire time he was in my face, he recalled. To be honest, I was startled and confused as to why he had approached me. We had already been yelled at by other groups of protesters, and when the second group approached, I was worried that a situation was going out of control where adults were attempting to provoke teenagers. The teenager said he believed that by remaining motionless and calm, he was helping to defuse the situation. I said a silent prayer that the situation would not get out of hand, he wrote. When he left to get on the bus, the student believed that he had diffused the situation by remaining calm and was thankful nothing physical happened. I was not intentionally making faces at the protester. I did smile at one point because I wanted him to know that I was not going to become angry, intimidated, or to be provoked into a larger confrontation. I am a faithful Christian and practicing Catholic, and I always live up to the ideals my faith teaches me, to remain respectful of others, and to take no action that would lead to conflict or violence, he said. There is his full statement here. I will leave this link in the comment below, you guys, so that you can check it out. But, you know, you can see he wrote a lot. He wrote a lengthy statement. This kid is traumatized by what's happened to him. This is all too common. You know, the left attacks us for being who we are, and then they try to turn it around to try to say that we are somehow in the wrong. Well, you know, I don't see the right going after the left. I see the left coming after the right, and when I see things happen, I see the right responding to the left. And more often than not, it's like this young man right here, this gentleman, this young kid in high school with excellent character, okay? He could have just walked away, but he thought that he was doing the right thing by standing his ground and smiling and letting that gentleman with the drum know that he was not going to react. And they took that and they vilified him. They made him look like something out of World War II Germany. This is disgusting. The way that they treat us is disgusting. But you know what? The way they treat us, it says everything about them, and it has nothing to do with who we are. We know that we are right. We know that we are anointed by God. We know that we are not the people who are out there making trouble, causing problems. We are not the people that are shouting vile things at groups of other people, blaming them for being who they are by birth. That's not us, all right? And we are not all a homogenous group, all right? This kid showed right here, there were children of other races, not just European people in his group. And they were attacked for being in this group. And they can't help that. They can't help what their parents send them to school. And they shouldn't have to. They should not have to explain away what they are and why they are there. Their faith should be enough. And the people who are taunting them are the ones who need to be called to count in this respect. I want to thank everyone for joining me for this update on the Covington High School student debacle caused by the mainstream media, the fake stream media, fake news. These kids don't deserve this. These kids do not deserve the way that they have been treated. And I sure hope that everybody who reacted violently to this situation without knowing any of the facts gives them an apology. And if they don't, I hope that we see them in court. Awesome, guys. Awesome. I want to give a special shout out to Daryl Pingree. Thank you so much for the super chat, buddy. And also my good girl, Diana Davenport. Thank you once again for the super chat. All right, everyone. That calls to a close this edition of Red Pill News. Thank you so much for showing up once again. We're going to do this again tomorrow. So clear your schedules, and hopefully we'll see you in the chat. Good luck, everyone, and God bless. It's still going. That's so funny. I forgot to hit yes after I hit stop streaming. Yes, I actually have a smaller, less powerful vape that I was hoping that nobody would hear. But yep, I hear my mic is still live. Well, you guys got a bonus feature on this on this special live stream tonight. All right, love you guys. Bye.